Hi guys, welcome to part 4 of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Jeep End. I know how much you guys like this book, and it's still pretty rare to get audiobooks on it. So I decided that why not read the whole book? So anyways, it's from where we left off. Just a little summary of what happened until then. So the Heffleys went to this place called Campers Eden, where there was a lake which had a rope swing attached to it, in which people threw themselves into the water. It was really crazy there. Greg wanted a raft, but people were jumping on the rafts. There was a ramp at the bottom of the hill. Some kid launched himself into the water with a tractor tire. So anyways, continuing from where we left off. Oh, and anyways, there's one thing. No, not Raleigh. I'm sorry. Yeah. Greg wanted me to mention to you, subscribe to my channel with all notifications on and like. And the book you want me to read next, just comment it down into the comment section. So anyways, let's continue from where we left off. Mom wanted us all to swim, but I was still pretty scared from my last experience in the lake. And plus, I didn't trust any water I can't see too. There was something weird sticking up in the middle of the lake, and I pointed out to Dad. He said it was probably just a branch, but it didn't look like a branch to me. And when you can only see a part of something, it could be anything. And nobody else was in the mood to swim either, so we put our stuff down on the ground. But it turned out a lake shore isn't the same as a beach shore. And within a few minutes, we were sinking in the muck. Pat, pat. Mom said we weren't going back to our pitch until we did something fun. There was a canoe tied up to the dock, and she said we should take it out into the water. I was fine with being on top of the water, as long as we didn't have to go in it. We took turns getting into the canoe, which wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I stayed low, just like Dad told me to. Roger didn't though, and we almost capsized while we were still tied to the dock. Gah! Step. After we were all in the canoe, we put on life jackets and paddled out onto the water. But some people swimming nearby seemed like they were in a hurry to get out of our way. Then we found out why. As soon as we went to the middle of the lake, something big landed right next to our canoe. And a second later, there was another splash. Sploosh! Some teenagers up the hill turned the hammock into a giant slingshot, and they were using us for target practice. That's just mean. I guess that explains why no one was using the canoe. We tried to paddle back to the dock, but the guys on the hill were getting more and more accurate with each shot. Bling! Splash. I guess Roger didn't want to get hit, so I decided to abandon ship. That was a problem for the rest of us, because now we were unbalanced. Bloosh. A canoe capsized, and somehow me and Dad ended up underneath it. At first I thought it was a good thing, since we were protected from those watermelons. But I changed my mind when you took a direct hit, because it was like being in the inside of a drum. Blong! And me and Dad ditched the canoe and swam for the dock. We had to move fast because now we were out of range. So the guys on the hill were skipping the shots. Splish! We pulled ourselves onto the dock. Oh, we were safe. Mom was upset because her camera was ruined. But I really didn't want my picture taken at that moment anyway. Pant, 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 pant. Monday. I think Mom realized we'd had a little too much family time yesterday, because this morning she said everyone could go do their own thing. I was planning on relaxing for once, but Mom had other ideas. She said this camp was full of kids my age, and this was the perfect opportunity to branch out and make new friends. I told Mom I wasn't really in the mood for socializing, and there wasn't any point in trying to make new friends, since I'd never even see any of those people yet. But Mom said some of her best friends today are people she met at summer camp when she was my age. I told Mom it's different from when she was growing up, and now it's a lot harder to make friends with strangers nowadays. But Mom said she could help me with that. I was hoping Mom would just drop it, but 10 minutes later, a group of boys passed our camper van and carrying fishing rods. And before I could stop her, Mom started with the introductions. I know someone who would love to join in your summertime fun. Luckily, these kids didn't beat me up the second Mom stepped away. They said they were going down to the fishing spot, and I could come with them if I wanted. I'm not really big on fishing, but I figured I'd just go along with these guys just to make Mom happy. I recognized a few of them from the pool, and on our way down to the stream, I learned their names. Everyone was calling the smallest kid Juice Box, and he seemed to be the one in charge. The kid with the big inner tube was Big Marcus, and I couldn't tell you if he was wearing that thing for fun or he couldn't actually get out of it. The tall, skinny kid was Weevil, and the boy with the shaved head was called Doodoo. I don't want to be mean or anything, but that boy really lived up to his nickname. Sniff, sniff. A few other kids joined us, and they all had nicknames too. So I guess that's a thing around here. Fivehead, Cutter, Eggo, and Marcus. Juicebox asked my name, and I figured since everyone else was using made-up names, I might as well. Jimmy Dogfish. The stream was pretty shallow in this spot, so I didn't see how these guys were going to catch any fish. But I found out the real reason they came here wasn't to fish. It was to talk, and they argued about everything. The first topic was which superhero would win in a fight. And that turned into a conversation about which superpower was the best. And somehow that turned into a debate on what kind of animal you choose to fight if you were sentenced to death. And then they got into an argument about whether it would be better to fight a person with the head of a shark or a shark with the head of a person. And the guys were split down in the middle of that one. The conversation got pretty heated, and then it got physical. I didn't want to get hurt, so I tried to stay out of the way. But just like that, it was over, and everyone acted like nothing happened. I was starting to get nervous hanging out around with a bunch of guys who like to settle things with their fists. And I told them maybe I should be heading back. But Juicebox said since I was a new kid around here, it was their job to show me the ropes. And I didn't want to go along, and I decided to go along with it. Mostly because I didn't want Judo putting me in a headlock. Crack. Boop. It turns out these guys have been coming here for years, so they knew all the ins and outs of the place. They knew how to get a free bag of pretzels from the vending machine at the lodge, the exact time the delivery truck came to resupply the camp store, and where you need to be when they threw out the day-old donuts. And plus, they knew where all the cute girls in camp were staying and where they ate lunch. These guys were big pranksters too. Weevil found a half-filled bottle of shampoo on the ground, and that gave Juicebox an idea. He took us around the back of the shower block to the wall to the other side of the shower stalls. As soon as the person near the window finished rinsing the soap suds out of its hair, Juicebox squirted some more shampoo on his scalp. Squirt! The guy lathered up his hair again, and once he finished rinsing it, Juicebox was there with another squirt. After a couple more rounds of this guy started getting angry. Scrub, 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 scrub. Gah! But when he heard Cutter laugh, we were busted, and it was the last guy we should have been messing with too. Luckily, Juicebox and his gang knew all the good hiding spots on the campsite, and we were able to stay low in the snack shack until the coast was clear. I've never actually had a group of friends before, and I was starting to have fun. The guys wanted to go down to the field by the lake and play some games. I figured they wanted to play something normal, like football or tag, so I went along with them. But these guys had their own idea of fun. And most of the games involved someone getting hit by a ball or someone getting tackled. And sometimes both at the same time. Snap! Yelp! Bling! The last game we played was Red Rover, where everyone makes a human chain and tries to keep one person from getting through. But Big Marcus was unstoppable, and we got pretty banged up. Bounce! It seemed like everyone was ready to wrap things up for the day, but that's when something fell from the sky. Splat! It was those teenagers on the hill launching watermelons from their hammock. We ran for cover underneath the shed where they kept the kayaks. And that's where Juicebox told me what was going on. And he said that every time he and his gang played in that field, the teenagers bombarded them with watermelons. And I really wish someone had mentioned that to me before I agreed to go down there. Splop! But Juicebox said that today he and his guys were ready to strike back. They stashed a bunch of water guns in one of the kayaks, and they had some serious firepower in there. Everyone chose a weapon for themselves, but since I was a new guy, I picked last. I wasn't crazy about picking a fight with a bunch of teenagers anyway, so I told the guy I was in need to head back to my family. But Juicebox said I was one of them now, and we're all in this fight together. I probably should have walked away then, but I didn't want to let these guys down. We gathered around Juicebox, and he showed us his plan. He said someone needed to volunteer to be the decoy on the lake so the rest of us could sneak up on the teenagers from behind. Lake, decoy, teens, hill, ambush team. Nobody wanted to volunteer, so we took a vote. And that's how Big Marcus got chosen. And that was good news for me, because I got his water gun. Big Marcus paddled out to the middle of the lake, and sure enough, the teenagers opened fire as soon as they saw him. Splash, sploosh. And that's when the rest of us made our move. Splurge. We let loose with everything we had, and by the time our water guns were empty, those teenagers were totally drenched. But I wish Juicebox had put a little more thought into the next step of his plan, because all that really did was make those guys mad. They chased us past the main lodge, and we turned at the corner to the laundrette. I thought they were going to catch us for sure, but Big Marcus picked the perfect time to rejoin the team. Boing! That bought the rest of us extra time, and we used it to reload our water guns from the soda dispenser at the snack shack. I could have grabbed a few squeezy bottles of ketchup and mustard for some extra firepower. So when the teenagers arrived, we were ready for them. Splurk! And I didn't know if it was the soda or the ketchup that did it, but a few seconds later, the snack shack was full of bees. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Shake! We ran to the hiding spot we used earlier in the day and took a minute to catch our breath. Everyone was in the mood to celebrate, but Juicebox seemed worried. He said those teenagers would be coming for us and that the camp director was going to be mad we made a mess in the snack shack. Curtis said we should make a pact that if anyone got caught, nobody would rat anyone else out. And everyone seemed to like that idea. But it got complicated when we started talking about what was the penalty for breaking the pact, because everyone had a different idea of what it should be. Big Marcus said that if you broke the pact, then you had to go to the pool noodle conflict, which sounded pretty harsh to me. Twack, twack. Regular Marcus said that if one of us snitched, that person needed to wear his underwear on his head for a whole day. Some people wanted to take it even further. Flyfet said it has to be her dad's underwear, and you had to walk past the pretty girls' pictures at lunchtime. Then the guys got into an argument about whether the underwear should be clean or dirty, and things got physical again. But I was actually glad because it gave me the opportunity to slip away. Tuesday. Thankfully, Mom didn't have any big plans for us today, because after everything that happened yesterday, I really just wanted to lie low for the rest of the trip. Mom went to the camp store to pick up some groceries for dinner, and when she came back, she was all excited about a flyer she picked up at the main lodge. Tonight, pool party, food, games, music, guaranteed family fun. Nobody else was crazy about going to a pool party, but Mom said this could be just the thing to turn our trip around. We all knew that once Mom gets an idea in her head, there's no talking her out of it. Plus, it had been really sticky and hot all day, so I figured it would be nice to cool off for a few hours. Mom forgot to get plastic utensils at the store, so she sent me up there with some money. I was a little nervous that some of these teenagers might spot me on the way, so I wanted to get there and get back as soon as I could. But I stopped when regular Marcus called me out when I passed by the place we hid yesterday. Psst. Regular Marcus said that and told me that this morning these posters started appearing all over camp, and he showed me one he took from the laundrette. Ice cream sundae party. Trade in your squid gun for a free ice cream sundae. The second I saw the poster, I knew it was a trick. I told regular Marcus that the people who run this place were just trying to catch the kids who trashed the snack shack, and they were using the ice cream as bait. I told him not to fall for it and tell the other guys not to either. But he said it was already too late, because when the first posters went up, Juicebox and the other guys had headed straight for the lodge with their water guns. Regular Marcus said he would have been with them, but he had to go back to his camper van to grab his squirt gun. And by the time he got to the lodge, the doors were already locked. Jiggle, jiggle. So Regular Marcus climbed up to the recycling bin to look through the window and to see what was going on. And what he saw wasn't pretty. It turns out there was no ice cream at all. The camp director told the guys they were gonna have to scrub every inch of the snack shack tomorrow morning, and use toothbrushes to do it. I guess Juicebox didn't like the sound of that, so he told the camp director the whole thing was a big misunderstanding. And he said he and the other guys got roped into fight, and the guy who started it all was still on the loose. And when the camp director asked him the name of the ringleader, Juicebox threw the new guy under the bus, Jimmy Dogfish. But I guess the camp director wasn't convinced, because after he let the other guys go, he made Juicebox walk door to door to find him this Jimmy Dogfish character. I really didn't want to be there when they reached my camper van. So when everyone got back to my pitch, I told everyone we needed to eat quick so we could get to that pool party. I figured the pool might be the one place in the campsite where I was actually safe. But once I got there, I realized I was wrong about that. Yank! It seemed like a combination of louder music and nighttime was just making people a little extra crazy. And it wasn't the kids this time, it was the grown-ups too. A bunch of dads had turned the shallow end into a giant whirlpool. And someone had greased the slide. So kids were coming off that at 100 miles an hour. Splosh, splish. There was a movie playing on a screen at the deep end of the pool, and whoever chose the film should probably have picked something that was a little more family friendly. Scream! Mom wasn't even paying attention to what was going on at the pool. There were a bunch of activities in the grassy area, and she wanted us to participate in everything. We entered the balloon popping relay as a family, but we came in last place since Manny didn't even have enough body weights to burst the first balloon. Bounce, blap. Mom and Dad entered a beer belly contest, but he didn't even make it past the first round. Manny entered a hot dog eating contest on his own, and I had no idea that boy could pack so much food away. Me and Roger competed in a dizzy stick relay race. We had to spin around the baseball bat 5 times. We were playing against 2 guys who had just finished the hot dog eating contest, so things got a little messy. Black. Mom tried me to enter some dance contest with her, but there was not enough money in the world to get me agreed to that. We entered the pie eating contest because I thought I might actually win. But they held it at the same time as the belly flop contest, and my seat was the closest one to the pool. Speaking of the belly flop contest, too many contestants got on the diving board at the same time, and it wasn't built to carry that much weight. Creak! Scream! After the party activities wrapped up, Mom talked us all into getting to the water and for a quick swim. The pool was crowded and no one was really doing any swimming anyway. It seemed like the only people who were having any fun were the ones on rafts. But the rafts were all taken, and it didn't look like anyone was willing to give one up. Then Mom spotted a giant empty inner tube in the middle of the pool, and that thing was so big it must have been an airplane tire or something. And so we all swam out to it before someone took it for themselves. The tire was so huge it was almost impossible to get into, but with a little teamwork we finally did it. Once we all got on though, we found out why that thing was so empty to begin with. After we got tossed from the giant inner tube, Mom was done with the pool party. And I felt bad because I knew how much she wanted tonight to be special. A lot of other people were starting to clear out too, but there were still a few stragglers coming into the party, and some of them looked pretty familiar. The rest of my family got out of the pool, but I decided to stay put. I didn't know if those teenagers would recognize me or not, but I wasn't willing to take any chances. There was still a lot of people in the pool, so it wasn't that hard to stay hidden. But when those guys stepped in the water, it got harder for me to stay out of sight. And my situation got a whole lot worse when the next 2 people showed up to the party. So I knew the camp director was looking for me, so I decided to go in the only direction I could, which was down. I went to the bottom of the pool and sat there, and I planned on staying down there as long as it took. I was actually starting to run out of oxygen when something weird happened. There was a flash of light, like someone was taking a picture underwater, and then everyone started getting out of the pool. 10 seconds later, it was empty except for me, and that's when I came to the surface. The first thing I noticed was the rain, which was really coming down. Then lightning flashed across the sky, and that explained why everyone was in such a hurry to get out of the pool. The teenagers and juice box were long gone, and so was my family. I didn't really want to get electrocuted, and so I figured I'd better get out of there too. I left the pool area and headed for the camper van, but in the dark and rain, it was hard to see where I was going. There was a huge crash of lightning, and it sounded like it might have hit something nearby. Crack! Then the air raid sign at the lodge cracked up, which made everything even more stressful. I realized that if I stayed out much longer, I was going to get burnt to a crisp. But nobody in any of the Luke's camper vans would let me inside. Pound, pound. I finally made it to a camper van, and when I opened the door, my whole family was there. Pant, pant. Mom said she thought I'd run to the camper van when the rain started, and it was a miracle that I was okay. And to be honest with you, I felt the same way. That storm came at the perfect moment, and I almost felt it was like a work of a higher power. Or maybe it was one big cosmic joke. Because if I've learned one thing, I realized that it's that God has a sense of humor. Chitter, chitter. Wednesday. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be sprayed by a skunk, I can tell you from first-hand experience. It feels like you've gone blind, and your eyes sting like crazy. Gasp, wheeze, sputter, ack, gag. So you have to flush them out with water, if you're lucky enough to have an needle nearby. Rub, rub, blub, blub, blink, blink. Once your vision improves, you start to notice the smell, which smells like a mix of rotten eggs and roadkill. And you don't just smell it, you taste it. But trust me, the first thing is to not get it sprayed in the first place. And one of the books we bought at the camping store had a chapter on what you should do if you got sprayed by a skunk. But it wasn't that helpful, since we couldn't get any of the ingredients until the store would open up in the morning. So, you've been skunked. Getting sprayed by a skunk is no laughing matter. But if it happens to you, here's what you can do to remove the smell. Fill a bathtub with 10 pins of 3% of hydrogen peroxide. Add 20 tablespoons baking soda and 10 teaspoons liquid dish soap. Bathe, rinse, lather, and repeat as necessary. And so anyways, this will be the end of this video, guys. I hope you liked it. And the next book you'd like me to read after part 5, please just comment it down in the section below. Oh, yeah. I'd like to mention at the start, subscribe with all notifications on and like. So, I guess this is goodbye. Anyways, bye.